Well, okay, just a quick video now, and I haven't even, I'll be honest, I haven't even set up the tripod or anything, and it's on the reverse camera thing, but it's a bit of important information just to get on the channel at the moment. So yeah, we've had a few problems with S1s and the Manchester consulate, and it was just a bit of information to get out there for people who may be going through Manchester with their S1 to explain the problem that we've had and the solution. Okay, and the solution that we gave to our clients, all right? So, as we know, since last year, the S1 has been accepted for the visa, a non-lucrative visa application across all three consulates in the UK, as long as you take a registration with the Social Security with you. So, basically, what they're requesting is, now here in Upsticks, we have our own terminology, and we call this the pre-registration. So what you have to do is on the Social Security website, you have to basically register your S1 along with a copy of your passport, you holding your passport, etc., etc., and then you will receive a document which has your name on it, has a code across the bottom, which is a CSV code, which proves it's authentic. And with that registration, you go to the consulate with your S1 and they will let you have your non-lucrative visa, or that covers you for the healthcare part of the non-lucrative visa, I should say. Okay, now what we do for our clients, we actually do that for them. All right, so we have a way where we actually submit the documents here to the Social Security. We then come up with that document that they need to take with them, and then what happens is once they get to Spain and they've got the non-lucrative visa, they register the TIE card and they get a Padron certificate. We then finalise that registration with the Social Security. So that's one thing that's worth remembering as well for people. If you're doing it yourself, then remember when you get to Spain, that first registration isn't the end of the story for your S1. You need to finalise that registration with the Social Security when you get here to be able to access your healthcare. But back to the main point of what's happened this week. Well, what happened this week is that, well, there was one this week, one last week. We had a client who was actually, everything was accepted, they took the payment, but then they gave them a letter and said, oh, you have to prove one of these two things. You have to prove you've either got a healthcare policy in place, or B, that your S1 has been registered in Spain and you have your certificate of the, they call it Derecho de Asistencia Sanitaria, your right to get healthcare in Spain, okay, in place. Well, that is impossible to get. You cannot get your certificate which gives you right to healthcare in Spain unless you're actually here with a TIE card and a Padron, which then evidently comes after you get your visa. It's a chicken and egg situation. You cannot get that. So evidently then people have panicked and said, now we have to get a healthcare policy, which you don't. And it can be very costly for somebody who is of state retirement age and qualifies for an S1. So we went back to the consulate and just politely said in an email, look, we've had 63 cases go through your consulate with the S1 and the pre-registration. Could you please let us know if you've changed your criteria so we can advise clients accordingly, you know. Maybe slightly passive aggressive, but you know, I'm not saying they've got it wrong. What I'm saying is that if you've got a change in your criteria, you need to let us know, because our objective evidently here at Upsticks is to send all our clients with the correct documentation. They came back to me and they said, oh, okay, thank you very much for making us aware. We've actually revised the file and we've seen that all the documentation is correct to go ahead. Please ignore the letter. Yay, brilliant, great. Okay then, so then well, I was like, that's just one of those. Sometimes you get people on the desk, maybe somebody doesn't quite fully understand the paperwork that's being submitted, hasn't been briefed properly by their superiors, who knows. Okay, so then what happened? We carried on with our week. This week, exactly the same. Two people went through absolutely fine, and then next thing you know, got a client, phone up, everything went swimmingly apart from this letter that they give me. What did the letter say? Well, you need to provide private healthcare or the certificate that you have registered your S1 in Spain and are accepted to get healthcare in Spain. Again, as I said, this is an impossible thing. You can't do it till you get your visa. So we went back to the consulate by email. This time we said to them, look, we understand last week we asked you about the changing criteria. Has there been a change in criteria this week? And are you still accepting what we call the pre-registration with the Social Security and the S1 document? Again, they came back to us and said, our apologies, we've now revised the file. Well, they didn't actually say my apologies at all. No, they didn't say that. They just said, we've revised the file and we've seen that it's all in order. Please ignore the letter. Okay, so for people who are going through Manchester with an S1, I thought it was just important to get that information out there. You know, whether it's our clients, we can obviously deal with our clients and help them, but there's going to be other people out there who are going themselves, and they need to know that if they do come across this problem, that there's a solution. So there we go. Anyway, apologies for the dodgy video, but we haven't got a lot of time today, and I thought it was important to get it out there in the world, and it might help somebody. If you want to subscribe to our channel below, check it out, and